Welcome to
Seriously Not. I'm Daisy.
I'm Netto, and we have a special guest,
And she is,
Peppermint Patty.
or as we know her as, just Patty.
Oh, that's right. But I like Peppermint Patty.
All right.
You would.
Yes.
So what's going on?
No. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about.
I
but
know, we
let's,
have so much to
Let's
talk
establish our guest
All right.
first. Okay. Now, Patty, I know when I first met you, but that's not really a good timetable. And what was the did you meet Mugsy or Floyd, or how did you come into our little world?
Okay. So our little world was the 11th
Hour,
hour.
yes.
Okay.
Which we will get into.
So many months ago.
Many
'cause
moons.
we're not-
Moons ago. Many moons
Many
ago.
moons ago.
Yeah, we're like American Indians
Okay.
here. I'm Sicilian.
I'm Sicilian.
No, he said Sue.
Oh,
Yes,
I get that.
S-I-U-X.
Okay.
I'm Sue Nurkian.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm half
Well,
Sicilian.
we'll have to figure out what they're talking about.
Half
So
Wapaha.
Okay,
let's
let her
get
finish.
this back to me.
Let's make this
Okay.
about Patty.
Right,
Netto.
it's
Back
about me.
off.
Yes.
Go
I
ahead.
decided to go take a acting class.
Oh.
And so in that acting class, I met Michael Wright.
Oh, not that Russian guy.
No.
Okay.
Michael Wright, a cast member on the 11th hour.
Yes.
So, in that group of people that was taking the acting class, another person named Jim decided he was going to put together a television show.
Now, this is before the 11th hour
yes,
was on the air.
a
but-
long time before.
Okay.
And so,
Not that long, right, Daisy?
oh, that's right, not long, not in Daisy's world, moments ago.
See,
That's right,
See,
yes.
this is going to get ugly.
Yes.
No, say it. No.
ahead.
So, anyway, so Jim decided to put together a television show, and it was called the New Jersey Comedy Shop. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember the length of time that we worked on the show, but it was a lot of fun. We became friends. And then I did something silly, and I moved away and got married.
Oh.
I didn't know you were married.
I was married, yes,
Oh.
yes. Mm-hmm.
We've all been married once, right?
Yes, actually. And once is enough.
Once is enough.
That's it.
I'd do it again.
You
You
would?
would?
This time I'm going to be in love.
I am in love.
Well, I'm glad you're in
Oh,
love.
isn't that sweet?
I'm jelly.
Yes.
No, I'm happy for you. I want to know what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, get back to Patty because you know I
Oh,
can
right.
talk. Go
Okay.
ahead.
We do this a lot. We interrupt each
That's
I know.
okay. I'm used to it. I know you for many months now.
Yeah, many.
Just to
She
keep on
sounded like-
Daisy's timetable.
I love you, Patty.
I
Doesn't
know
she
you
sound
do.
like Hillary?
Who?
Didn't
Patty.
I play
Yes.
Hillary on?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
But you have that same meter when you talk.
Okay.
And
Is that a
no,
That's a compliment.
It's a compliment.
Okay, I wasn't
It's a
sure
very
'cause I know
polished
you-
meter thing.
Okay, let her
Yes.
finish.
okay? So getting back to me,
Get it back to Patty
because you know it is all about me.
for now.
Okay.
Yes.
It is,
For the
yes.
next 2 minutes.
No, we
Ask
have to
Netto
add-
about stuff like 2 minutes. He's
Yeah, I
the
know.
expert.
And I don't care.
I know. You're proud of it.
Yes.
So I was on the New Jersey Comedy Shop with a lot of our friends, and got married, moved away, and then of course, many years later, the marriage ended, and I
Oh.
came back to New Jersey. So while I was in the mall, I ran into Floyd, and he had heard about my situation and said, "Why don't you come to the studio? You need a couple of laughs." And I said, "Well, that sounds like a great idea." And up to the studio I went. And there was Michael and Mugsy and you and the crew.
But that's the first time you met them? Like Netto, Mugsy, and the crew?
Well, not really, but we won't go there.
Okay.
So
One thing, though, I don't think I was ever on the Uncle Floyd Show when Michael was on it.
you
'Cause-
weren't?
No, I don't think I was. I think he came on after me.
Michael was definitely there, but you were there. I know you were.
Okay.
If she says you were
All
there,
right,
you were
all
there.
right.
Sure,
Don't
you were
argue with a
there.
woman,
My
mister.
memory might not be that good, but I didn't. I thought
Well, that's
we
right.
were-
You had a little
I thought-
situation lately, so maybe
yeah.
you're,
Yeah.
or maybe it's me. I don't know.
No, it's
No,
definitely
you're-
not you. It's him.
It's me. It's me.
Well, now that we've established that it's you,
But it
not
should
me.
be all about you.
Yes, it is all
Yeah,
about me.
yeah.
Back to me.
Yes.
So I went up to the studio, I watched the show, and I enjoyed myself. And then Mugsy came over to me and he said, I'm putting together this show, why don't you come down to the studio, which is this studio that we're in now, and, just kind of hang out, and I know your situation, and you look like you need a good laugh. I guess I must have been pretty sad because everyone kept telling me that.
Telling you that.
Oh, really?
So I came down to the studio, and Mugsy, God bless him, he asked me to come up on what I didn't realize was the stage, which is over there.
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing a lighting check. And what he actually was doing was asking me to do a commercial. And I had no idea. And I said, okay, am I in the right light? Everything good? And he said, here. And he threw tapes at me, flung them at me.
Wow.
And he said, sell them. You're on. Now, I started to sell the tapes. They were Elvis. They were all these different kind of tapes. And I'm just rambling on. And that's how I did my first
That's
show
how you
with
got
the
your
11th
start
hour.
with the 11th hour.
Now, okay.
And now she's here with us.
But I
on
thought you were
Seriously
on
Odd.
the first show. I thought.
I don't know. Actually, Vlad was on the first show.
Oh.
He probably started building.
I
Yes.
wasn't
building
even,
from there.
I was a musical guest on the first 5 shows.
Right.
I wasn't even a cast member.
I was officially the first regular, even though Vlad was on the show. I don't know that
Right.
she did it every week, but I was the first female
Because I think David
full-time.
Bird and Mugsy were like the two main people at the time. And I think Mike
And Charlie would stop down.
Charlie was part of that
Right.
early 11th hour. And I was just a musical guest. I really,
But then it all started to happen when you came.
I don't know about that.
You're supposed to say yes.
Oh, yes. you
Yes,
did.
yes.
Yes.
And you added a whole new exciting element to
That's
the show.
right.
Yes, it's
The king of men.
who knows what's going on,
Right.
or who doesn't care what's going on, but it's in your face anyway. Hello.
We had a lot of fun.
Oh, you still killed me. I have never, only once in my whole career with Uncle Floyd, doing Uncle Floyd Show or an 11th hour, did I actually ever break character just to laugh my ass off. And that was when...
Should I tell the story or
yeah,
should you?
you I want me to...
I'll
Can I
tell
set
you-
it up? Let
I'll
me
set it up,
up.
and you can say why.
Okay, but don't forget...
This is one of the
I'm gonna set it
episodes.
up.
One of the
Yes.
episodes.
I'm going to
Yes.
set it up,
Yeah.
and then he's going to say what happened next
Okay.
because it was what happened to him. We were doing a bit, and it was in
The Ho family.
Yes, the Chinese Ho family, Mr. and Mrs. Ho.
They were entrepreneurs.
Right. They had a lot of different businesses. They had a pet store. They had restaurants.
Yeah,
they
well,
had,
in this one episode, there was the pet store was one half of the building, the other half of the
was
building
a
was a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Right. So I'm glad I'm telling the story. Our friend K-Ron, who was a customer, decided to come into the store, and she had some issues with some of her pets.
I
And
remember this.
and so Netto and I were eyeballing, or Mr. Ho and I were eyeballing the pets to think that maybe we could take
And
those
before
pets.
you go any further, didn't we used to really kick the living crap out of each other? In
Yeah,
this
but can we get there in a minute?
yeah.
Okay. Unless you want to take over.
No, I
Tell
don't.
them-
I
No,
don't.
He's getting excited.
I
Yes,
just
he is,
want,
'cause
I just
we're
didn't
building
think that would be after the punchline that would even like be as interesting as it would be in the build-up.
I get you. Okay. So, Netto and I, Mr. Ho and I, kept looking at these pets that she brought in that needed attention. But we were thinking, they might be great for the restaurant.
Oh God.
So I brought in a tarantula, and I had it placed on my shoulder, and I was trying to tell before we did the bit how you work it and how you pump it up and stuff. So I gave it to Karen to use, and she put it on her chest,
Yes.
and she had the little pump, and the thing was kind of moving. Well, I said a line.
You can
And-
tell it.
What was
Why?
the
You
line?
sure?
What was the line?
Yeah, you can
come
tell
on,
it. You
come
can
on.
tell it.
Okay. Well, I said a line that probably definitely was inappropriate.
But you got to say it in the Chinese
I'm
accent.
going to. I am. How else would Mrs. Ho say it?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So I turned and I looked at the crew here, and I said, "Ooh, fur in wrong place."
And I died.
For some reason, that just cracked him up,
Yeah, I lost it.
and he totally broke character,
Just
spinned around,
spin around,
hit
leaned
the
against
wall,
hit the wall,
and the wall moved.
the wall.
Oh gosh.
I
And
just thought that was the funniest ad lib I had ever heard. I just lost it at that point.
But
I-
anyway, in
yeah.
those bits,
Yeah.
Netto and I used to beat the crap. Well, he used to beat the
Oh,
crap
I
out
got
of
her.
me
You guys
more.
played a lot of the 11th hour bits together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
we
always,
were-
it's
we were
pretty
like
much
a
in
team.
yeah, like
Yes.
a team.
You know,
Like
if they had to
pretty
do a
much
duo guy and a girl, it would
It was
be
you
us.
two.
If it was physical.
Yes, yes.
I remember this one where we had Howdy Doody operating on her, and we stuck a whoopee cushion under her shirt. And we had a compressor, an air compressor, blowing it up so that her chest would expand because we were doing breast enlargements on her.
But what was the challenge of that,
The
Netto?
challenge was that she had a shirt under a shirt, over a shirt, so that the shirt on top, the buttons were supposed to pop, and and that was it. But what happened was the buttons didn't pop, and it was caving her rib cage in.
Oh,
I couldn't
no.
breathe.
Oh,
She
my
couldn't
gosh.
breathe. She was turning blue, passing out, and Mugsy wanted to
Really?
stop it. So he was going to turn the compressor off, and I'm like, "Don't ruin
Don't
it!
do it.
And I do it, and I tackled him, and she was like dying,
I'm literally.
dying
you
on
know.
camera.
So
And
why
I
did
went,
you just why didn't you just like move it?
You couldn't.
I
'cause-
didn't wanna
couldn't
break-
because it was connected with a hose.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just getting bigger and bigger.
Anything for a laugh.
Yeah, at my expense.
It was,
There was another time we did a bit El Mundo de Caca. And
That what I thought
remember
was
that
funny,
one?
yeah.
And Lori, it was an ongoing series,
Lori was a boy.
and Lori was my son,
Yes,
our son.
you pinga.
Right. Yeah.
Oh god.
We don't know where any of that stuff came from,
We
but
know.
yeah.
That's a bad word.
Yeah. And so I wound up in a coma. And I wound up on a table, and John was the priest. And he walked into the scene, and he was trying to give me a blessing of some sort. And Lori had this part tiger, part cat, for real. Beautiful, beautiful animal. And if you can imagine, we had our own props, of course. So it was a table that was a little bit higher than a real table.
Oh, the cat jumped on the table.
The cat jumped on my chest.
Okay, I remember that.
And started going for my mouth. And because it was a live show, I didn't want to be like Netto and break character. So the cat.
you're a professional.
'Cause I'm professional. So the cat sat down on my chest, facing my mouth. And I wanted to crack up laughing. So I'm supposed to be in a coma, right? Very slowly, I kept inching my head away from the camera. And it's like, thinking about it now, I was in a coma. Like, how did I move my head? But the cat sat there for probably
that's fun.
the rest of the bit. And that was probably one of the funniest things.
That was a good.
one
That
of the
was a good
funniest
time.
things
That was a good
is
time.
In that same bit, when you slapped Michael across the face
is-
so hard that she knocked the wig off his head. And that was really funny.
Are you forgetting the time that we worked? We were working all day. We met at
I
a
fell
park.
asleep.
Well, thank you for sharing the
Oh,
story.
No, go ahead.
Okay, that's okay, Netto. It's your show.
No,
You're-
but
it's
you're
your
the
show.
guest. I'm sorry.
So we decided we were going to tape all day, and we came back to the studio, and it was really late. And Mugsy wanted to get one more bit in. One more. Had to do one more. It was Rat Man.
Rat
Netto
Man,
was Rat Man. Do you remember that
I don't
one?
remember that one.
He was Rat Man. So
Like a superhero?
Yeah,
type
yeah,
character?
superhero.
Okay,
World
okay.
class Batman.
right. And so we had chairs set up here, and I think I had taken him hostage. I was supposed to be
I was tied up.
like a Catwoman type of person.
Like his nemesis? Or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right, Daisy. That's a good word.
Thank you.
And and so he was tied up, and I was basically doing the bit by myself because he was sleeping.
Oh, you actually fell
He
asleep for real?
actually fell asleep
oh my
for real.
God,
I woke up and fell asleep again.
Yes.
I said, "When she kicks me."
Yes.
I woke up, realized I had fallen asleep, and don't know how far
Mm-hmm.
into the bit we were.
How can you fall asleep and you know that you're being?
Well, there were
you're
a couple
like,
of beers
Chris-
involved.
Not
Oh,
really.
We were out in
Yeah,
the
we were.
sun.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
That's right. It was all day. It had to be like 8 hours filming Tarzan or something. In I don't know what park we were in, somewhere swinging on trees.
Jeez,
and
yeah, we
something.
did all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And we had Vladimir and my wife were the what do you call those giant women in Greek mythology? The giant warrior women. Amazons.
oh, Amazon.
They were like an Amazon tribe that had captured me, Tarzan.
lucky you.
I know, because they were like 5'10", and
Right.
I'm like 5'7", 5'8", you know. So it worked.
That was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah. And then you came on the show, and you were the
I was
beauty
already
of it all.
No.
Well, you are. You're gorgeous. I mean, come on.
You know how I got to be on the show? Mugsy asked me to do a commercial. So when
Oh,
you're telling
yeah?
the story about the commercial, I'm like, wait a minute, that's his line for every female
no, yours
cast
was a
member.
real commercial.
Yeah.
Mine was putting me up on that little foot of a stage and throwing cassette tapes at me or whatever they CDs or something.
Well, you know what? The first time I did a commercial for Mugsy, this is back in the early 11th hour days. I didn't realize it, but behind me was a blue screen of like the L.A. riots, and he had me doing a liquor store commercial with the riots going on
that's so
behind
funny.
me, and I didn't know it
That's funny.
because he wouldn't let me look in the. He turned the monitors around.
Oh, okay. So you just had to that made it more funnier.
Yeah, it did because I didn't know what was going on.
You played my daughter once, didn't you?
I don't remember.
I think there was some bitch
No.
you played a. I think
Ooh.
Mixa and I were in a
What?
Christmas scene or something.
No, I don't remember.
I
that.
don't remember. Anyway,
I didn't
There was
do.
so
I
many
didn't do that
bits.
many. I didn't do that many.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I don't think so. Very few. But it was a good time.
it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah.
It was.
So
What have you been doing lately?
Working. I work for a blood center.
I can't give.
That's okay.
They called me today.
They did? Oh, I have
Yeah.
to take you
I
off
took-
the list.
Yeah, I can't. They need
remember.
O negative.
negs, we're having
I'm
a-
O negative.
I
They know
know,
that,
I
and they're down to a half a day supply.
why
so
is
if
O
any-
negative rare?
very
It's
rare.
the universal blood
I
donor.
can give
actually.
to anybody, but not anybody can give to me.
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
So
As a-
what do you do in a situation if you need a blood transfusion?
I'm really in deep doo doo.
Really, I'm O positive.
You're one of many.
I think
And I'm APOS, so I'm one of many also.
I think I'm actually AB negative.
I don't think you're AB negative.
No,
No.
It's O negative.
You're probably an O negative.
Is that the only negative there is O
well,
negative?
no, there's A negative, B negative, AB negative.
I think I'm.
Well, if they called you because there's a shortage, you're an O negative because we're having an appeal.
Okay, all right.
So trust me, that's probably
No,
what you
but
are.
I can't do that because I'm.
Right.
I'm
I
on
have
so
to
many
remember to
blood
take
Your
you
thinners.
off the
your
list,
blood
right.
is just
Right.
It's blood thinners and
yeah,
all
you
that.
have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Right. But so that's what I've been doing. I've been working hard and just trying to keep busy and have fun. That's why I'm
Yeah.
here today.
So have you watched any of the debates lately? 'Cause-
I was just gonna bring that up because the last couple of
Oh.
shows we've been discussing the
Yeah,
Republican
'cause-
debate, and yesterday was the Democratic debate, which is a big
Did you
contrast.
see it, Patty?
I didn't see last night's,
Yeah.
but I did watch part of the Republican debate,
Which one, the first or the second?
the one that Trump was on, and
He was on both.
oh, right, okay, then that's the one I saw.
That's still the one she saw.
That's the one I saw. The one he was on.
Oh, that one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter if he was on both.
That's right. He was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was on both.
And are we allowed to give our political opinion or just?
Yeah.
Can I
we-
mean
we do
we're
all
not
the
like
time.
super serious. I mean
No,
we're like
no.
Okay.
two doofus over
Okay.
here, just
Yeah.
kind of like talking about what in mainstream people are talking about. So
Yeah. No one cares what we think.
yeah, nobody cares.
I think that when we look at the lineup of all the candidates, it's pretty scary.
It is.
Meaning the Republicans and Democrats
Both.
combined.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Like How come when they signed the Declaration of Independence, they had 70 names, and any one of those people could have been the first George Washington.
Well,
Any
you,
one
well,
of-
you were there. So
I know.
what happened?
I was there.
What's your real life experience on that?
Well, it just seems that we have a shortage of great men. If there's 20 people running, 15 on the Republicans and 5 on the Democrats, and I wouldn't vote for any of those 20 people, to be honest with you. They're all fools.
No, none of them are standout in terms of.
Well,
what
they're
I would
not
say, like
fools. I
Old,
wanna take
old
that back.
school, like integrity, where they really
That's
do,
exactly it.
where they really do have a passion and a desire to really want to help,
Make change.
Americans
Well-
instead of just trying to become like the next
Powerful man in America.
See, I
or
don't
woman.
know if a radical change is really necessary, because that might get us into further trouble.
I don't think a radical change is
Well,
necessary, but a change is
I think
definitely.
integrity might be necessary.
We haven't had
because
integrity in a long time.
really long time from either party. So,
As a group, but I think individually there are some people.
they're not
that-
running.
Well, I mean, I didn't have any issues with Obama. I don't think he had any integrity issues. I mean, people may not agree with some of the.
Yeah, I agree with you. I
know.
never had a problem with his integrity. I just didn't. Some of his things were just like. Were
Maybe poor
bound
decisions
to
or-
backfire,
yeah,
and
right.
and it was obvious that from the very beginning, and he was very stubborn about it.
Stubborn, but I think, over the last 8 years, I mean, in my opinion, we're like in still waters. We have gotten, I think, maybe gone backwards. Like there hasn't been any great positive changes, and I would like to see someone come in and kind of lift the economy and I think the morale, because someone and I don't know who said it, but where they said that people or the world doesn't respect America as much anymore. I think that's true.
There's two levels. There's a level of domestic problems that will never get solved,
Right.
and there's the level of like how we stand in the rest of the world and how they see us, and really there's not too much we could do about that, because like if we're really 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 good, they'll just be jealous and hate us anyway, like they did after World War II.
But I think there was definitely a time where we were seen as the superpower nation, and I don't think
still
that.
are the
I don't think
superpower.
so.
No, we still.
But no one
we still
looks
have
at
the
us
most
as-
money and the most power, as far as military power, and we still have the most money.
Well, you know what? It's slipping. I think they don't. They're like
Well,
I
yeah.
think some of the issue that people in this country see is that we're always first to write a check. We're
Yes.
always first to give to another country, and yet we all see the homeless.
Right.
We all see people struggling and single parents who are not able to feed their kids. And the question always is, what about take care of your own
People-
first?
Right.
Well, they were saying in last night's debate, the Democratic debate, how they wanted to give free college to illegal aliens when people in there, in this country whose parents are poor don't get free college.
Right.
I
know.
And-
Well,
Listen,
except we
I'm
live
all
in
for,
California.
of course, free college across the board with the public universities or colleges, but it should be to the citizens first,
Right.
and
Agree.
foremost.
Plus, they're not
So-
going to, even if they tax the 1% at a 50% rate, there's still all these free college, free free hospitals, free everything. It's going to be more than that 1% can sustain.
Right.
It's going to be the middle class paying for it
Again.
anyway.
Right,
Again.
right.
They just aren't going to tell us up front because 1% can't do it. And I don't buy the fact that the 1% has more resources than the rest of the country put together. I don't buy that. I really don't. Because just in property alone, the 1% does not own 99% of the property in this country. Just home values alone.
Right,
So
right.
that's a crock.
Well, we could look at the state of New Jersey and our property taxes and our
that's-
car insurance
They're
and
the
all of
highest
that.
in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
know.
ridiculous.
Well, that's because you're paying for pensions and a lot of pensions. That's municipal property tax, and it's something like 80% of that is pensions. You know what I mean?
I'm up to $9,800.
So am I. I'm paying 98.
you know what the services that we get, we pay for our water now. We get maybe the garbage taken out and the recycling.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you could look at it
I mean,
many
in South
different ways.
Carolina, you'd be paying $1,200 a year.
Yeah, I know. Or in Delaware, you're
So-
paying $800.
So, in terms of what's been going on with the politics, what do you think is going to happen this time next year?
Well,
what do you think it's going to like? Who do you think is going to be falling off the running?
Well, we're so worried about if Democrats beat Republicans or Republicans beat Democrats. But if you look at like the big issues that divide this country, and it's always 50-50. 50% want, have their guns with no restrictions whatsoever, that they can walk around with machine guns. And 50% say, no, we don't want any guns. And then with like abortion, 50% say life is a life, and 50% say, well, no, a woman has a right to choose what she's going to do with her own body. And these are great arguments on both sides on all these issues. But the country is still divided. And a political party is not going to change that. Even no matter what party gets into office, that's not going to change.
Right. It's just I think whoever does become the next president, I hope they do a good job.
We always have the hope in the beginning of their presidency, and there's a lot of promises made.
I was gonna say a bad word, but then stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess you could take each candidate and peel away the onion and see what really is
Yeah,
left.
but sometimes we're surprised because sometimes who we don't have a lot of faith in when the times go bad. Look at Giuliani. No one liked him until 9/11. And then 9/11 comes, and all of a sudden, he's Churchill.
Right.
What happened? And some people, I guess, are like wartime presidents, and that when there's no war, they look bad.
But
They're bad.
I'd rather see what the guy has or woman in a crisis.
Well, you don't get to see the
I
crisis
know
before
until
you
it
elect them.
happens.
Yeah.
That's right. You don't
So
know
you
how
don't
they
know
react.
who, like Kennedy. God, the closest we ever came to complete nuclear annihilation on this planet
Cuban
was
missile.
with him. Those
Right.
was it 3 days in May or whatever that was. But no one knew
We
that.
shall see.
Well, we shall vote.
Yes, we shall vote. I know my kids were like, "Who are you gonna vote for?" That's personal. That's private.
I think you have to.
He's giving us the five fingers, Netto.
Oh,
What does
wow.
that mean?
It's
Oh.
better than the
That
one
means
finger.
high five.
High side.
That means
That's like the He-Man Woman Haters Club. High side.
Oh, yeah? This went too fast.
it does. It always goes.
Always
Wow.
does.
It always goes by quickly.
Yeah. So.
So how are you feeling, Netto? Since we last spoke.
Oh, I'm good. I'm doing cardiac. I do a 2 hour.
You mean
almost
cardio?
Cardio rehab.
You did, you
I
did
keep thinking it's-
cardiac already.
What's rehab?
Rehab.
Was that girl that died? Amy Winehouse.
Okay. Of a drug
They keep
overdose?
sending
Yeah.
me to
Right.
rehab,
Oh,
and I
right,
said
right.
no.
That's,
This is the rehab you want, though.
is it?
Yes.
No, actually, not.
No,
No, it
not.
is. If,
Not.
if it had to happen and you survived it, then you have an
I
opportunity
didn't.
to do that.
I came back. I was dead.
He said, "I got stuff to do. I can't.
I really- I
I
didn't.
can't leave Daisy
I was-
hanging on this show by herself.
I really didn't even think about you, Daisy.
You
at
bastard.
that moment.
Who were you thinking about?
Well, I wasn't thinking. I was just.
He wasn't. He
I
just
was driving
out.
a truck in my dream to the Holland Tunnel.
Oh, you were going through a
baby.
tunnel.
I didn't make it into the tunnel. I
Okay, that's
just
why.
as I was entering the tunnel, they got me back, and the tunnel like disintegrated, and
Were you
And then he woke up.
okay?
then I wasn't asleep.
Well, wait.
I came back
I mean,
to
when
life.
you were gone,
Yeah.
and then you went through the tunnel in your, I guess, subconscious or your.
It's subconscious. It's a little
your
different than a
be-
dream.
Yeah.
It's not like it's in like really grainy. It's really there's a loud hum, and it's real fast, and
But you didn't feel you didn't feel
You
like
feel
any
like you're
fear.
moving.
But you don't feel fear, right? You just kind of.
I was scared. I was made. See, I
Did
don't
you
know.
feel fear or
I don't
not?
know if it was the dream that made me make duty in my pants, or the
God.
fact that I
Oh, no.
was dead,
Oh God.
or the fact that I was dead and all your systems release But
Maybe it was
No,
both.
but I'm
I was
saying.
scared.
Okay, so you're saying while you were in your dream state or subconscious
driving.
state,
I was driving,
You
yeah.
felt fear, is what
Oh,
you're
I was
saying.
scared.
Because you didn't really make it through to that peaceful part. Because
Well,
you
the
were.
last thing I remembered, I was talking to my wife in the emergency room, and now I'm driving a truck towards the Lincoln Tunnel at like 100 miles an hour.
Well, that's probably why you were a little bit fearful because you're like, oh crap, I'm doing 100 miles an hour.
He was
Oh,
driving
yeah.
too fast.
You're driving too fast.
I
I'm
know
gonna
that,
pull
and I
over.
didn't, and my eyes were closing while I was driving in my dream, and I kept on trying to open them and drive.
See, I think
And when I got to the tunnel, I pulled the emergency brakes. I pulled the steering wheel. Everything I tried to do to stop that truck from going into the tunnel because I knew what the tunnel meant.
So it was really your,
Why are we
something
talking
was.
about
I
this?
don't know why. See, because this is what we do. We digress.
But
But can
we're
I?
not gonna talk
Can
about this
I
anymore.
know that the show's going to come to an end, so I just want to get one thing
Oh, yeah.
that's important
Okay,
to me.
go ahead.
Yeah, the blood.
No, not two. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Yes.
and I just want to tell everyone to please go out and get your mammographies. I know you're probably sick of hearing all of that on television, but I was fortunate that 4 years ago I did go for my regular mammography and they did find breast cancer, and thank goodness I took that step. And I want everybody else out there listening
How
to
often?
go get your yearly
a year.
mammography
Once a year.
and make sure that you're checked. So
I'm on it,
chemotherapy.
Patty. I get checked
All right,
every
everybody
year,
do
so-
it.
I had
It's
a pap
important.
smear.
How
Yeah.
is
I
that
don't-
possible? You don't have a vagina.
Oh,
Who says?
you need a vagina to
How
have
do we
a
know
pap
he's?
smear?
How do we know he's not transsexual or something?
you're
We don't
right.
really know. We've never really seen
If
it.
you want to find out later,
I know. It's
we're
a short
over in 2
stay.
minutes.
We're over in about a minute, so put
You
your
can
pants down.
Get your money together for a short stay. I really
And the
am-
second
I'm
thing is,
tapped.
Netto, you were right because donating blood is probably one of the most important things.
And
that you
I
do.
really
You
feel
were a-
really
If I
bad.
You were a blood
blood.
donate.
What do I do?
You call up community.
What type are you?
You call up
Oh,
community
positive.
blood
Oh,
services.
that's right. You did say that.
And you make an appointment to donate blood. We have a lot of convenient locations, but it does save lives. I had my father use blood, my mother used blood, my sister used blood. So that's 3 out of 5 people who use blood in my family alone. And you never know who's going to need it. So thank you for all the donations that you gave us, Netto. You saved other people's lives.
Wow. Netto,
I didn't know that.
you did something good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now what about me? Just kidding. I don't do squat.
You should.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try.
You
Right.
sit.
Listen, I donated for bone marrow.
You
That's
look
not
healthy.
bad. I am healthy. God, thank God.
Yeah, you look healthy. Yes.
What does that mean? The way
What
you
do you
say
think that
You
means?
look gorgeous.
Healthy.
There you go.
I think it's a wrap. Wait, healthy could mean fat. Are you trying to say I'm fat?
Oh no.
Well, I wouldn't wear no, white and black what do you call that?
You're
I think
talking
it's time
about
to say good
vertical
night.
lines? Is
No,
that it?
no. It's a polka dots.
Oh.
White with black polka dots, big black polka dots, and
I
a
would
bell
never wear
around your
that.
neck.
I would never wear something.
What
like
about a
that.
bell around your
Now
neck?
you're calling her a cow.
The
Is that what you're trying to say?
no, I'm not.
I'm gonna go home and cry.
That's the
I
other-
need another drink, bartender.
It's the other one. It's the other one I'm talking about.
Patty, thank you so much for coming by and
Yes,
hanging
thank
out
you.
with us.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was fun.
It was fun for me.
Fun. Pleasure is like a really watered down word.
No, pleasure is when you have the phone on vibrate.
Yeah, pleasure. Yes, that's.
And then you sit on it.
And you say,
And I'm calling you off the hook.
call me Netto.
Yes. Pat, are we done yet?
Okay.
Goodbye.
Good night.